them in and keep them watching. That is the entire point of starting your video with a good hook. And if you don't have a properly structured hook, the chances of someone watching your video past the 5-second mark is severely diminished. And this is very important with a TikTok video, or specifically a TikTok shop video, because if you can't get them to watch past 5 seconds, the likelihood of you getting commissions off that video is literally zero. I'm going to go over the types of hooks, audio, visual, and written, and the elements within those hooks, funny, relatable, and controversial, and break them down with some examples so you can learn to craft your hooks better. And then I'll go over some of the ways and methods that I use to come up with great hooks for my TikTok shop videos. With your 3 types of hooks, the audio, visual, and written, you typically have at least 2 of those. If you can come up with 3, even better. Very rarely do you see a video do well that has just one of those types of hooks. Let's jump into some of those examples and break them down.
Just a heads up, if you were like me and picked up that women's electric razor that the stripper put us all onto last time, thinking this is going to get you a bald kitty, now the same company just released.
This was a perfect example of using all 3 well-placed types of hooks. The visual hook right off the bat really caught your eye because, at least for me, I'm thinking, am I looking at what I think I'm looking at here? So definitely grabbed my attention. And then your written hook on screen, how to get your cooch bald, how to get your cooch so bald without waxing. That definitely takes your brain to places and make you think about what it is that you're viewing.
Just a heads up, if you were like me and picked up that women's electric razor that the stripper put us all onto.
And see, then her verbal aspect or the audio aspect of it brought down to the fact that, you know, if you're like her, did you buy the razor that the stripper put us all onto? It creates all this intrigue, and you put all 3 of those together, and it really kind of makes you want to see more and learn more about what's happening here. Now, this is a great example of a visual hook.
If you haven't seen this yet, check this out. A cone turns into a hallway. Jump into my live, guys. I'm going to be showing you guys some cool stuff.
Just the optic illusion of the product that he's holding definitely grabs your attention and processes some things in your brain that you're trying to figure out as you look at it, because the optical illusion just doesn't make any logical sense.
If you haven't seen this yet, check this out.
And then the verbal aspect, you haven't seen this yet. Well, chances are a lot of people already have seen it, so that might just spur up some trolls to create engagement in the comments. Movement is a great way to add in a visual element of a hook. They're so subtle, but the movement attracts a viewer's eyes, especially when they're scrolling. And this next video is a great example of using dynamic movement in your hooks.
Guess what?
What?
Watch this.
The close-up with her eyelash, swiping it, and then the audio aspect of it with the, oh, wow, kind of draws you in, makes you wonder what's happening. And then immediately, a second and a half later, she's into dynamic movement right here.
Guess what?
What?
Watch this.
Back and forth from her to her partner with the camera movement. That tricks people's brains into stopping and watching the video. This next video with 11.5 million views is a great example of implementing the trifecta of hooks with visual, audio, and written.
Your house probably stinks and you don't even know it. And that's okay, because we have all been victims to nose blindness. It's perfectly normal.
So did you guys catch that with the controversy of telling them your house stinks and you don't even know it? Because, well, we all get used to the smell in our own house, and no one wants to be the person with the stinky house. So there's a level of controversy that comes right into that. And then the visual aspect is her sprinkling the powder on what appears to be the cushion. And then you throw in the written text there that makes you have to slow down and actually go back sometimes to read what it is that's on the screen. And typically your written hook ties in some way with your verbal hook.
Your house probably stinks and you don't even know it. And that's okay, because we have all.
What if your house stinks and you don't know it? And you see how that tied in together? This next video is a great example of how to subtly put all 3 of these together, and it works. And this particular creator, I do believe he developed this style for selling books, and he sells a lot of them, but now a lot of creators copied this style.
Gotcha.
Does he know what a trimester is?
Did you catch the subtle dynamic movement there? Just the slight panning of the camera up and down, But what's unique about his videos is he creates them by posing a question as if it was a comment from a viewer, when it really actually wasn't. And he ties it in some way to a chapter in the book, which creates this, okay, what's he talking about? And this is a particularly good written hook because of what it says. You let him cream and now you're all pregnant. That catches your attention. And then he goes into the chapter on the book.
Does he know what a trimester is? What about for game day? Does he know about the delivery bag? If you don't know,
to sell this book. One more time on the subtle movement.
Does he know what a trimester
of the visual aspect?
Gotcha.
How he draws
Does he know
your
what a
attention.
trimester is? What about for game?
How he draws your attention up to the question by how he points and pans the camera. Great subtle use of this technique. This particular creator is a top TikTok shop creator in the Star Creator program, and he uses dynamic movement and camera zoom-ins for his hooks all the time, and they work very well for him.
Now that the PlayStation Portal doesn't need the PlayStation 5, you got...
Did you see how he started all the way in and pulled out? That creates that dynamic movement that breaks the viewer's concentration while they're scrolling and gets them to stop because it's out of the ordinary, because a lot of people don't do that. This next one is a great example of visual and verbal, but tied in with a bit of funny and controversial, but possibly relatable at the same time. So they were very well thought out and put together because almost every aspect of type and element are involved.
I'd rather staple my nipples to the fucking floor than ever wear a bra again.
So this one really does a great job of breaking your concentration. Her above shots panning in and down on herself for a zoom in, and then saying that she'd rather staple her nipples to the floor. That really grabs your attention. This next one cusps onto the controversial side, which was a very well-crafted video that got a lot of people's attentions. Whether or not she made a phenomenal amount of sales is still in question, but it definitely grabbed viewers' attention.
Do you want to receive the best sloppy ever? Flint Smith?
I don't think I really need to say anything more about that, but the comments went wild in this thing with basically because of her hook. Now here's a couple of my own I've used and structured in my videos, and this one got 8.5 million views.
Ha! Here it is. Can it sharpen this rusty POS?
I had the movement walking up to the fence, grabbing an item that creates that intrigue and that mystery. My verbal aspect of it was, oh, there it is. Like I found something that I had lost. And then to further that interest, in the written text, rolling sharpener will sharpen anything. A lot of people hadn't heard of a rolling sharpener at that time. So there's a lot of interest as to what's going to happen here. If you've been struggling to get into TikTok Shop or struggling to get views and make sales with your content, you can schedule a discovery call with me. My Calendly link is down in the description below. Check it out, see what times I have available, and let's talk about your situation and get you on track so you're making commissions and profit with your TikTok Shop videos. While this one didn't get a lot of views, even though 450,000 views is still a good amount, the amount of sales I got off this video was quite phenomenal, and I used a little bit of covert politics in this one to stir some stuff up in the comments section.
There could be civil unrest. The wife and I are headed to an event tonight.
On the visual side, I had the movement throwing the vest over me, strapping it on while speaking, and then stating that there's going to be civil unrest, that we're going to an event. That alone, with a covert political angle, brought about a lot of comments from people that stirred it up and drove the engagement on this video. So the hook that I had structured worked very well. So those were a lot of great examples of really good hooks that got great views on videos. Obviously, I don't have access to the back end, so to be able to say how much they made off the video, it's questionable. But if it got that many views as a TikTok Shop video, there's a high probability they made very good commissions on those videos. So here's a few of the methods that I use to come up with my own hooks. First, I just rely on my own natural ability and the fact that I have a strange brain that's just a little twisted and off the wall. That helps me craft hooks. I look at my product, I think about it, and I just try to come up with some off the wall stuff. Now, if I can't do that on my own naturally, I'll move into some content research. Much like the videos we just looked at, I'll find other viral videos out there and I'll break down how they did their hooks and what methods they use, and I'll try to recreate those in my own form based on the product that I'm trying to promote. From there, if you're struggling to come up with ideas, find a viral video that's similar to or exactly like the product you're trying to promote and go into the comments section and read some of their comments. Some people are so hilarious, they'll literally just based on their comment, give you a hook that'll work well. And the probability of it working very well is really good because it was a comment based on a real person and a real concern that they've had. So it'll be very relatable. Like this one right here, Lizette. I was so scared to get waxed. I promise y'all it's not that bad and it takes no more than 15 minutes when you're out. Sure, she might like to get waxed, but this product is about skirting the lines of not getting waxed and shaving instead. So you can take that and pose the question in the opposite, and there's your hook. Here's a couple more that could be used for this same similar product. I can give myself a low taper fade. That's hilarious. Or any fans of Old Greg out there? I know I am. This one's funny to me. You got a downstairs mix-up? So there's a few examples of just perusing comments of a video that has a similar product to yours and using those comments to come up with some hooks. From there, if I'm absolutely stuck on a product and I don't know what to do, I'll utilize ChatGPT. I wouldn't use exactly what it spits out, but it can definitely give you some great ideas, and I use a very simple prompt. Give me 10 funny and controversial but relatable hooks for promoting whatever the product is. This particular one I searched, I have a video to make for a stick welder. I'm not a very good welder. I haven't done it that often. So coming up with ideas that are catchy for a stick welder, I was having a hard time wrapping my head around. ChatGPT gave me some great ideas. First one right off the bat is great. I would just need to tweak it a little to my own voice. Ever tried fixing your ex's broken promises? Yeah, me neither, but the stick welder can fix about anything else. That's a pretty good start. It would need a little finagling here and there, but other than that, it was pretty good. Another version of that it spit out, the stick welder won't fix your relationships, but it'll fix your metal fence. That's a pretty decent hook with a few little tweaks in there. And if they don't spit out that great of results, you can type in a second prompt and say to make it more funny or make it more relatable or make it more controversial, and it will modify those and add a little extra to it. So those are examples of how I put together my hooks and some great examples from other creators and the hooks they've used that have gained hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views in some cases. I really hope this helped, and I hope you can apply some of these techniques to come up with better hooks for your videos and you start getting more views and more sales in your TikTok shop videos. And these can be used not only in TikTok shop, but in YouTube Shorts, Instagram, even on Twitter. And in the meantime, while you're learning to craft better hooks, you can check out this video up here where I break down one of my most viral videos and why I believe it went viral, plus the GMV and the commissions that I made off that video.